how did you go from a career in advertising to doing jewelry full time? How did that happen?
There's so much opportunity. So much opportunity. In Nigeria, which a lot of people may not know, we have so much resources here. We have tourmalines in different colors, sapphires, topaz, incredible gemstones, panta garnets. I have a tourmaline, I have a citrine, I have amethyst. That's what I use for my earrings. And I have peridots. All of this were mined and cut here.
Here in Nigeria.
We even have emeralds. So what I'm wearing today, this is an emerald that was mined here.
Gorgeous.
But I would highlight the challenges that we have first, because it's in those challenges that the opportunities are. If I had gotten a 9 to 5, I would probably have been paid, even more. But I didn't want to. There is this powder that they use to cut stones, diamond powder. It's white and you have to import it. So when you bring it in, NDLEA takes it.
Because they think it's cocaine?
I don't know.
Okay.
Their machine packed up. I can't remember what happened. Is it that they said he was having issues that they're not doing again? And I had orders. I said, no. I left.
Can't continue anymore.
I knew there was no going back. You want to use 18 karat gold. For you to want this, of course, you have to have a good budget.
Yeah.
And then I go down and I see 20K.
It's called manifesting. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nigerian Enterprise Podcast, a platform where we engage with entrepreneurs navigating one of Africa's most dynamic markets, Nigeria. I'm your host, Lanimi Royce. Today, we are thrilled to sit down with a remarkable creative entrepreneur, Kelly Praise, founder of Kelly Praise Jewellery. From a career in advertising to building a brand that blends artistry, craftsmanship, and cultural storytelling, Kelly's journey is a testament to the power of following one's passion. Through her work at Kelly Praise Studio and her jewelry collections, she has created more than accessories. She's built pieces to tell stories and celebrate identity. Kelly, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's really nice to be here.
I am itching to hear all the juicy details, so let's get into it. How did you go from a career in advertising to doing jewelry full time? How did that happen?
It was meant to be that way.
Okay.
So let me just start with a bit of a background on how I thought my career was going to go, and then how we got to this point where we are now. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger, when I was a child. And I wanted to be an ambassador. I wanted to be a lot of things, right?
Actually, me too.
Advertising was not one of them. So I grew up in Jos.
Okay.
And then my mom had this community where they used to make and teach each other different things, different skills. Bead making, bread, so all of the skills that you can think of. And then my mom is an entrepreneur as well. So I knew that I liked the freedom she had. I mean, it was a lot of work, but I liked that she had choices. She had the freedom. She used her time however she wanted. So I knew that I wanted that, but I just didn't know how or, how it was going to happen. So during the trainings, because I'm the last child, I used to be with her all the time. So she'd pick from school and then we would go to her work or anywhere she had to go. So sitting down there, watching them learn, whatever, I think I subconsciously picked up bead making. And my mom she has never been one to, any idea I have, she supports it.
Yeah.
So when she noticed that I was interested, she said I had to buy beads and then I would make it and she would give her friends. I don't know if they ever paid or anything, but I know that I made for them. And I think at the time I was in primary school, so I took a few to school to try to sell. I can't remember if I sold anything, but I know that I remember something random, like me announcing that I was selling something. I can't remember.
An entrepreneur from childhood.
Yeah. So I already had, I think that was when the seed was planted.
Yeah.
So fast forward years later, I mean, I was still making beads, but it wasn't like a thing. It was just something I was interested in. Fast forward to time to get into school. I was so sure I was going to go to law, study law. I got the admission to study law, but my mom said no. And I was so sad because I was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is my future. Why shouldn't I study law? And then she gave me the reasons. Like, it wasn't a case of, no, I said no, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then she explained why. And then at the same time, I got admission to study mass communication as well. So I went for mass communication and I was so uninterested. I got into school. I even resumed late. I got into school and I was like, okay, Chibi, this is what you want me to study. So I'm here. So I didn't have any desire to like really try my best because that wasn't the path that I wanted to take. But in hindsight, I'm so grateful that she made that decision for me because I can't imagine my life any other way. I know that you can't really tell where a certain path would have taken you if you didn't take that path.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine my life anyway, like any other way. So first semester, I got a first class. So I was like, okay.
Maybe I am good at this.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Let me just put my head down. I'm here. So I might as well just, and seeing as I had a good result, let me just see, where this will take me. 300 level, I had to pick between advertising and PR and broadcasting. I mean, for advertising and PR, because broadcasting, it didn't seem very interesting. I graduated and then I got a job. So how I got my first job was I reached out to the CEO, I think on Twitter then, because we had gone for an excursion to the agency. And it looked so glam, like advertising, like it looks really glam and, nice and all of that. So I was like, okay, I think I want to work in this agency. And I had already imagined how I was going to grow in advertising, become, whatever the peak was, I desired it. So I got the job, I interned there and I worked there for, I think, around 4 years. But then there's this thing that I always say to myself, if you cannot put 100% of yourself into something, just take yourself out of it. So I think I got to that point. I mean, it was really nice. It was it was madness, but I enjoyed it. But after I think this was in 2020, towards the pandemic, I knew in my spirit that it was time. And at the same time, I was still making beads, I was still making jewelry, but on a much smaller scale. And I remember sometimes when we would have shoots back to back. I remember this particular shoots we had for 3 months, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. So you go to work Monday to Friday, and then you shoot Saturday and Sunday. Back to back. It was a lot.
It's a lot.
It was a lot. And I didn't really enjoy it at the time. But in hindsight, I can see how starting my career in that has built resilience. It has helped me to know how to manage clients. And it just gave me a solid foundation for my business right now. So that experience was the foundation that I needed to start my business. I think after the pandemic, when we now resumed work, no,
I can't continue anymore.
I can't continue like this. And I think the primary reason for me, it wasn't really the job. It wasn't that the job, it was a perfect job for me, but I didn't feel like I had a channel to express myself because I wasn't a creative. You have different departments. You have the creative, you have the brand management. I was in brand management. So you do a lot of brand management, but there's really no creative expression. Unless you're talking about ideas and strategy and all of that. But for me, I didn't find an avenue to express myself the way that I wanted. And then I couldn't articulate why why I felt that way. But now I see why. So I said I wasn't doing, I think I'm going to move on to the next thing. And the next thing was, I think I want to do my business full time. However, it wasn't a case of, okay, my business in the case, I was making beaded jewelry then. So it wasn't I was making a ton of money. And I was here in Lagos. My family wasn't here. It was just me. Okay, what's going to happen? So I called my mom and I said I wanted to do my master's. I didn't want to do my master's because I was trying to further my education. Okay, I think I was looking for something at the time. But I think subconsciously, it was supposed to be a buffer. I'm leaving my job, but let me go to school. So that even if the business doesn't work out, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I think that at the back of my mind was there. Let me go to school. Even if this business doesn't work out, at least I can pass and I can go to school and pass. And it wasn't I wasted my time.
Yeah.
And then I would look for another job. But I knew that I didn't want to go back to advertising. I knew I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I knew that I knew that it was time. I felt it in my spirit, and I knew. So I went for my master's. It was for like 1 year, and it wasn't at the time. It was in comms, and I had worked in comms for like how many years? So everything that I was being taught during my master's, I already had experienced it. So it wasn't a very hard ride for me. And then I was still doing my business, so my clients were growing. There was a lot of word of mouth. Like I said, when you're dealing with a lot of clients, it really helps you because you learn to manage, the difficult clients.
Yeah.
You learn to know how to manage. You learn to know how to manage different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helps me in my business. You learn how to be patient with people. You learn that, you learn the different ways to manage different situations. So that really helps to grow at the early stages. So people would come, they would, make their jewelry, and they would tell their friends. Like that's advocacy. It started to grow. So after the coursework, we're supposed to do an internship. Somebody had reached out to me on Instagram and, spoke about a job. And I was like, oh yeah, it's true that I'm even looking for somewhere to do my internship. So this is a good opportunity. But I knew that I wasn't going to be there for 3 months. It was supposed to be for 3 months. So it was a full-time job that I got. And it was still it was like I went back
to advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, but this time it wasn't you were not dealing with like corporate clients. You were dealing with corporate clients, but I was now dealing with like talents and thinking about it, I would say that I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
So having to manage, different talents, having to go like talk to a lot of people, it was very overwhelming for me. But it was such a great opportunity because it also helps me to come out of that shell that I was in. So I can see how all of the opportunities that I got, they came together to bring me to this point. So I worked there for, I think, 8 months. And one day I was like, nah. I was like, no, I think that I need to take myself out of this because mentally I was there like, in anything that I do, I try to do my best. Mm-hmm. So I was doing the work and I was doing my best, but I knew that I could do more. I knew that I could do more, and I didn't really I didn't see how I could do more, like going forward. I just resigned. This was in May 2022, and I left. Now I knew that I knew there was no going back. And my friends were asking, "Oh, do you think you're ever going to go back to a 9 to 5?" No. And even if, and at the time, it's not like the money coming in, if I had gotten a 9 to 5, I would probably have been paid, even more. But I didn't want to. Mm-hmm. I had a conviction to proceed with what my heart wanted to do. And that was to make jewelry. So yeah, that was how I left. And I'm here now.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. That conviction you felt, was that what gave you the courage to pursue it? Because, following your passion is risky. Yeah. You literally left a safe, in quotes, career to full-blown following this passion. So was that conviction gave you the courage that you needed to do it?
Yes, it was the conviction. And it was also, I have learned to trust myself. I trust God. God has always, led me. But I think that in addition to that, I have also learned to trust myself. And trusting yourself comes from a track record.
Yeah.
And it's not at the time, it wasn't like, oh, I had, overcome big obstacles. But by the time you look at certain things that have happened and you see how, okay, this happened, but I'm here now. This happened, but I've moved on. It deepens the conviction that you have. It deepens the trust that you have in yourself that, okay, no matter what happens, I will be okay. So I knew that I was going to be okay. And I knew that this was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to stay there. I think that was it.
It's such a beautiful story.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
So what has been one of the most difficult things that has happened to you, or the challenge you've had to face that was a lot since you transitioned?
I've never, nothing has happened that has made me doubt leaving.
Nice.
After I left, I didn't tell my family for a year that I had left. Because I didn't want them to worry and say, oh, you don't have a job.
How are you
how are you going to? But then when I told my mom, she wasn't it wasn't a case, she would not have felt that way.
Yeah.
She knew that I was going to be okay. So now thinking about it, there hasn't been anything that has made me feel like, hey, why did I leave? Or, but I think it's just the usual challenges that happens in business.
Yeah.
I have Kelly Praise Jewelry, and then I have Kelly Praise Studio. Yes. So with Kelly Praise Jewelry, okay, let me give you some examples now that I can remember some. So when I started, I didn't have the option for people to customize their jewelry. So I already had. So how Kelly Praise Jewelry even started was towards the end of, before I went for my master's, I was just, my mind, I was struggling. I was struggling mentally. I was struggling with my work. Like, I didn't even feel like I was doing like good enough.
Yeah.
I was struggling with anxiety, just a lot of things. And I remember at the time, I know the things that helped me. And those things were the words that came from the Bible. And that's why the business is faith-led. I know going to work, I would just have my AirPods on and I would just be listening to certain songs. That even helps me with my spiritual walk as well, not just even the job part. And I now decided I love jewelry, and these are words that helped me. And I wanted to help other people because I know that there are people that are struggling as well.
Yeah.
And that's how Kelly Praise Jewelry even started. So we now started having the option to customize your jewelry. There was someone that I was working with. People would send me what they want on their pieces because everybody has like personal words and affirmations that help them. And then I'll send it to them and then, they'll help me customize and all of that. Mind you, when I started doing that, so there's this thing that I can use to customize manually. I had it, but I had never used it because I was like, I'll just be like, this is stressful.
Yeah.
So I now started to use those people. And then all of a sudden, their machine packed up one day or something. I can't remember what happened. Well, is that they said he was having issues that they're not doing again, that they didn't want the machine to spoil. I can't remember what happened, but it was just not going to work anymore. And I had orders. I went to Lagos Island. I was looking for who to, just looking for alternatives. I couldn't find any alternative. There was nobody else I could find that could do that for me.
Wow.
And buying an engraving machine was going to, it was not even an option at the time. Oh, I had bought one engraving machine, but I never used it because it didn't work. It didn't work. So I went to Lagos Island and then I didn't find a solution and I had to apologize to clients, refund the money that they had paid. But that was what led me to start to engrave manually myself, which is going fantastic. It was a challenge because, it took me back several steps. But if I didn't have that challenge happen, I wouldn't have remembered what I had in my studio, which I use now. So I would say that, but nothing has really happened that has made me want to go back to my former life.
You really had your mind made up that that I'm moving forward. I'm never looking back. Reminds me of a popular song.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what does it really take to start a jewelry business in Nigeria? Could you walk us through the process, like pricing, production, design? What does it take?
So I'm going to categorize it into two. Like I said, I have two different parts. Or rather, let me focus on one, which I think is what we'll be talking about more, which is Kelly Praise Studio. And what I do there is I use precious metals and gemstones to create jewelry pieces and just metal works in general. It takes a lot.
I can imagine.
It does take a lot. In 2024 was when I did my training. So first of all, you have to do a training because it's not a skill that's you need to do a formal training. You could watch YouTube videos and all of that. Well, for you to start, you need to know. So the training, then you need to get your tools.
Yeah.
Everything that I use at Kelly Praise Studio, I import. Everything. To my drill bits, to my bores, to the most basic things. The only thing that I get from here that I use is my gas filler. Everything I import. So you have to do the training, then you have to get your tools. And that's where the money, the cost comes in. In fact, that's not even where the cost comes in. That's the beginning of the cost.
This is the beginning.
Because you have to import all your tools. And I'm talking, so you have to if you have the Forex, perfect. But it's still a lot of money. You have to melt. After you melt, you have to roll. After you roll, and I'm just giving a summary, I'm just going to compress. You have to roll. After you roll, you have to solder. After you solder, you have to form, you have to make, you have to polish. It's a long process. And now for each of these processes, there are several tools that you need. So that's where the training comes in, because you need to know the tools that you need. And then you get your tools, you build your studio. It's a lot of money, but it's very possible.
How do you source for like the gems that you use, the precious metals? Where do you get them from? Like, how do you source for them?
We have different kinds of gemstones. We have precious stones, we have semi-precious stones, and we have the third grade. Every country, okay, not every country, every gem producing country has gemstones that are specific to them. For example, in Tanzania, they have the tanzanite. That's the only place that you can get the tanzanite. In Nigeria, which a lot of people may not know, we have incredible gemstones.
Wow.
So we have tourmalines in different colors. We have sapphires. We have topaz.
Yeah.
We even have emeralds. So what I'm wearing today, this is an emerald that was mined here.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. But emeralds are not there are countries that produce, deeper colored emeralds and stuff like that. So for every gemstone, there are places where you can get, different qualities. Now, for me to use a gemstone for a client, it depends on what the client wants. So if the client wants a topaz, I can get that here. Yellow topaz, white topaz, blue topaz. If client wants a tourmaline, I can get that here. But then when you now look at like diamonds, we don't have diamonds here. But we have the stones that we mine here. So depending on what the client wants, then I can source from here. So I have a few here that I'll show you.
Yes, please.
So here I have a Fanta garnet. It's orange. I have a tourmaline. I have a citrine. I have amethyst. That's what I use for my earrings. And I have peridot. All of these were mined and cut here.
Here in Nigeria?
Here in Nigeria.
Wow.
By someone in Jos. Okay, no, I have another person. He's in Lagos. But you have different mines in different places. But yeah, all of this were mined and cut here. We have gemstones. We have precious metals. The silver that I used for these earrings and for this necklace, I got them from here. We have gold. We have so much resources here that I can make a piece from scratch to finish from a high quality piece from resources that I got here.
Without even having to look outside.
Yes.
Wow, that's so beautiful to know. Wow. Thank you very much for that. I mean, people need to know that Nigeria has gems, that we have beautiful things and that you can make beautiful things from here. Okay. So now how do you handle pricing in a market where consumers usually undervalue creative work? How do you handle price? Like how do you approach it?
That made me laugh because I just remembered something.
Please share.
Oh my God. There's a huge knowledge gap that I think is our responsibility to, jewelers to address, and even for clients to educate themselves as well. So I remember one time I have this custom form that I ask customers to fill for custom orders. And then they fill the details there, the metal that you want to use, and design specifications, those sort of things, and then your budget. And then I think 2 times I've opened that form and I see, I want to make one design, I want to bring the moon down. Those kind of designs. Okay, perfect, beautiful. And then I go down and I see you want to use 18 karat gold. Beautiful.
Nice.
And then I scroll. There was a time I looked at the budget. Okay, for you to want this, of course, you have to have a good budget.
Yeah.
And then I go down and I see 20K.
It's called manifesting. A girl can dream.
How do you respond? What do I say? I didn't, to be honest, I don't think I got back to, because for you to even say you want to pay 20,000 naira
for 18 carats gold, a girl can only dream and manifest.
So we do have a huge knowledge gap.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, my work isn't based on your budgets.
Yeah.
It is based on the value that you get. But for anyone that may want to come into this industry and struggle with pricing and all of that, I think the first thing you need to do is to educate your clients. Educate them. Tell them the different, kinds of metal. Tell them the different kinds of stones. Maybe then they would be able to appreciate the kind of work that you're doing for them. But aside that, set your price and stand by it, and ensure that you're giving value for that piece. Respect your clients. Give them value. Do good work. Make sure that the work that you're churning out is actually, in line with the price that you're giving.
Yeah.
And that's all. Don't price your work to say, oh, and I see that happen a lot, where someone will send some design, by an international designer, and then send it to, someone here, and then they expect you to charge like a quarter,
Yeah, like half of it, yeah.
No.
When you said that, no.
No. And because, again, you're just starting out, you want to gather, a lot of clients, or you want to make sure quality would always speak for you. The quality of your work would speak for you, and you also speak about your work, because your work doesn't have mouth to speak. So you just speak about your work, but make sure that you find a good balance between charging a good enough price for you to grow and not like overcharging.
Yeah.
There's a huge knowledge gap that we need to fill that would address the price issue.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful. So, concerning something you said, so now what are some mistakes that you see creatives, young creatives, new creatives, people just entering the creative space, that you see that they make when they're trying to turn their passion into a craft, into a business? What are common mistakes that you see people make?
First of all, I don't even know if every passion is supposed to be turned into a business. So the first thing you need to even ask yourself is, why do I want to make this a business? Is it even going to be profitable? Number one. Number two, you can have a passion, and then you now turn it into a business, and then that sucks the joy out of it, and you don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So just think about it properly before you do that. The second thing is, a mistake that I see a lot of creatives make is when they try to get everything perfect and everything right,
yeah,
so that they can start. They have everything has to be so good. No, it doesn't have to be so. In fact, if you wait for everything to be so perfect, you may never start.
Solid points.
Do you understand? You love what you're doing and you want to turn into a business, then just take the first step. Clarity comes with action.
Yes.
And as you go along that path, everything would be clear to you. And I think that another thing is undervaluing your work. The fact that it comes, and I made that mistake a lot. Something comes easy to you. It doesn't even take you time. Maybe it will take other people time to do it, like it was sweat and struggle. But for you just, quickly. And then you now think that, I don't want people to think that I'm so, and then you underprice your work. Or you just, you don't
undersell yourself.
Undersell yourself. Don't undersell yourself. There's a reason why you love that thing so much. There's a reason why it was put in your hands. Do it well and don't undersell yourself.
I would like to ask this question because, like I said to you when we started, we like to encourage people to know that doing business here in Nigeria works. So what is one of the biggest advantages of doing business here that you think a lot of people don't really know but should?
The resources. And I think that there's so much opportunity. But I would highlight the challenges that we have first, because it's in those challenges that the opportunities are. First one, education. I went to a training school here in Nigeria, jewellery company. She was the one who trained me, and she's training so many other people. But we need more of those sort of trainings.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, private individuals, private institutions can lead, but the government needs to pour into that.
Yep, amen to that.
So education, even when I was talking to AC Pricelet, he's a miner, and I got some of the stones from him. The only training centers that we have, or at least the majority of the training centers that we have, are in Jos only.
Wow.
It's very sad. So how many people are going to be able to go there to train?
Yeah.
Another thing is, in jewelry making alone, like I mentioned earlier, you have maybe 7, 8, 9 steps. In each of these steps, if you look at other countries, there are people that do each of these things independently. I can just wake up and say, okay, you know what? I want Kelly Praise Studio to be just polishing. So you make your jewelry piece, bring it out, polish.
Yeah.
I want Kelly Praise Jewelry. I don't think we have any casting house in Nigeria. I mean, I think there's someone that does it privately for her, but I don't think there's any casting house, because in jewelry you fabricate or you cast. So casting is when you have the wax, and then it takes the shape of, I don't want to get too technical.
No, but yeah, I think I've seen a video of how that's done.
Exactly. Yeah. So we don't have, there are very few people that do great. People are trying here, but by the time we have more people, and then you have more specialists as well, then the processes in jewelry making alone are opportunities for people.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, in education, even in stone cutting, for example, he had also mentioned that there is this powder that they use to cut stones. It's called I think diamond powder. I'm not in the stone cutting business, so I don't really know much about it. But it's white, and you have to import it. So when you bring it in, NDLEA takes it.
Because they think it's cocaine?
I don't know.
Okay. So back to education.
Why? So as they take it, you have to go to the office, and then you have to. I don't know what It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
it's a lot of efforts
because you have to prove that it's not a hard drug or illegal substance.
Do you understand?
Actually, I get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then if you know that this is, I think there should be some exceptions.
Or maybe an easier process.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it.
Then you now have things like, I remember when I was bringing in my rolling mill. So the rolling mill is what you use to turn the melted metal into wires or into sheets. And it's heavy. But it's not that heavy because when it came in, customs I think he had said I should pay like 7-something million for what? But that was a mistake. Eventually, we found out. I think it was a mistake with the actual cost of the item on the paper. But my point is that a lot of machines that we have to bring in are very heavy. The equipment are heavy. And I know that a lot of people have tried to, in the past, sell stuff here where you import tools and you try to sell it here. But I don't know how sustainable that is, especially because of the, changing rates.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity in that as well. Just even in jewelry making, even in stone cutting alone, there are so many challenges that have opportunities in them. Some of the great things about doing business here in Nigeria is that in as much as there are challenges, but there are also opportunities in those challenges.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's very detailed.
Thank you.
Nobody would even know that it takes is this much work. People would think, just...
Yeah, that's why you told me it must be 20K
for 18 carats.
Yeah.
No, they should not know. Okay, so what is the most rewarding part about running a business here in Nigeria?
The fact that I can take resources from here and make something beautiful that can compete on a global scale. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about the industry, the work that people in this industry do. They take resources, they take stones, despite the challenges that we face. You're still able to create.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I find very...
I think it's really beautiful too. Sometimes I keep wondering how creatives keep doing it. Because sometimes I feel like, it's a lot and there's a lot, but you're still creating anyways. Okay, so final question. One sentence. Why build in Nigeria?
Still linked to resources. We have what it takes. We have everything that we need. Every single thing that we need.
Nigeria does.
Even the stones, you export outside. We export the roughs, and then they cut it, and do all, because they have the infrastructure, which we don't have. So even with these beautiful stones that they have done such great work on, they can do even better if they had the right infrastructure. You know how to think about things like power. I think that's a major challenge. Power. If you say you want to fund, like you want to, provide power for yourself, especially for these guys, you want to provide power for yourself privately, that's a lot of money. Who then bears the cost?
That's true.
The customer. And then you now have things like the higher... I know that I was talking to the stone cutter and he mentioned something about the pricing of the roughs. So because they don't have adequate infrastructure to bring out the stones, of course, when it comes out, it's going to be quite expensive. Yeah. And you showed me a video of them using shovels and stuff. There are other things that you can use to do,
simplify the process.
So I think the resource, we have everything that we need, especially in this industry. Once we're able to upskill, once we have more people in this industry that actually want to be here and can do the work, that's all.
Wow, yes. You see, everyone, Kelly has told us that investing in Nigeria is worth it. Yeah. That we have all that we need and that people just need to take advantage of what we already have.
And have support from the government.
Support from the government. Kelly mentioned that a lot, so please, you're hearing us, support your creatives because they're doing really great work. Thank you so much, Kelly. This was so insightful. If you're listening out there and you want to follow your passion, you want to turn it to a craft, just trust yourself, have all the support that you need. Make sure that it comes more internally than externally because like Kelly said, if the applause is stopped, then what keeps you going? So it has to be yourself.
Let me just mention something. You don't have to quit your job to, follow your passion.
You don't have to quit your job.
It's okay for you to do them side by side until you get to a certain point. So don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow." And you know,
Okay, don't quit your job to follow your passion. You can do them side by side, but make sure that you are certain before you take any step. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe or leave a comment, like, and share. Until next episode, my name is Lanami Lois, and this has been the Nigerian Enterprise Podcast. Thank you.